Good afternoon, Santa Clarita. This is Jesus Henao of Leola Commercial, and welcome to the Commercial Hour. Be in the know your city. If you're thinking about owning or selling apartments, an industrial building, or shopping centers, you're in the right place. We talk commercial real estate. Live the American dream. Put on your jersey, sweatband, and get in the game. We're here every Monday from 12 to 1, KHTS AM 1220, FM 98.1. What a great day. Tomorrow's elections. I'm pumped up. Hopefully there will be no new rent control. And in studio today, we have one of my good buddies that knew me when I first got into business, Darren Campbell, Capital. How are you?
I am outstanding. Good to be here, man.
Great. Well, before the show, we were talking a little bit of football, and Darren is on the other side of the city, a UCLA guy, and he's having just a hard time, just like USC is, huh?
It hurts, man. I hate losing. Hate it.
So, let's talk a little bit about you, Darren. We talk investments here. How did you get involved in investments?
Oh, my goodness.
Because we met at Marcus and Millichap.
100 years ago.
Yeah, and Darren was killing it, and I'm like, man, that guy's onto something. So how did you get started?
It's so interesting because when I graduated from UCLA, I immediately got hired in the fundraising department, development. Mm-hmm. And part of my job was to figure out which major potential donors we should solicit for the next big gift. So I'm watching people, John Anderson at the time I was there gave $18 million. That's why it's the Anderson School now, and the Graduate School of Management. And then I, solicit these wealthy alums or people who own companies that were affiliated with UCLA, and my job was to size them up and determine how much money they had, how much net worth they had, and how much we should ask them for as a gift, right? And it was interesting because what came out of that was I discovered that the people that had the real money were heavily real estate related. So whether a guy was a doctor or a surgeon or a lawyer or whomever, most of his net worth came from his real estate holdings. And I'm thinking, you don't have to hit me over the head with a brick. I'm thinking real estate is obviously the common denominator.
That's right.
And soon I realized, rediscovered that real estate is the greatest developer, the greatest builder of wealth in the history of planet Earth.
You better believe it.
And so I'm thinking to myself, I'm in the wrong game. I need to be in the real estate game.
That's right. You think about it. Donald Trump, real estate. Jerry Buss, real estate. His whole family, they're living off that.
Yep.
Donald Sterling,
real estate.
Funny.
McDonald's, real estate. It ain't burgers, baby. It's real estate. And so what I decided to do was quit my job and get into real estate. And so I quit that job at a very, very young age and decided I'm going to get my real estate license, because everybody I talked to that was heavily real estate related, I'd go to them and say, I want to be in real estate, but let's see, I got no rich parents, I got no money, I got $12 and my wife's got about 18. What should we do? And they would say to me, hey, you know what? They said, as a matter of fact, to a man, they said, go get your real estate license, kid. You'll take the limits off of your earning potential, and you get to see good deals, and you get to buy them. And so I quit. I got my real estate license, but I decided I didn't want to sell the little stuff. I wanted to sell the big stuff.
That's right.
And so I went and interviewed at 3 of the top commercial real estate firms because I wanted to sell apartment buildings. Mm-hmm. And the firm you and I know well, Marcus & Millichap, happened to be the #1 seller of apartment complexes in the United States. And so I got offered 3 different positions. CB Commercial at the time is what it was called, Grubb & Ellis, and Marcus & Millichap all offered me a sales position. Pretty easy for them to offer me a job because it paid nothing. So it's like, yeah, sure, you can have a job. And so, it was commission-only business. I chose Marcus & Millichap because they sold more apartments than anybody. That was the game I wanted to learn, so I dove in.
Great. Now I want my listeners to understand this. I'm going to tell you my background, and now you're going to hear Darren's background. I don't come from wealth.
Neither do I.
My dad was a baker, and I tell people I was born in SOB, a son of a baker. My mom was a welder and cut sheet metal in Glendale. Okay.
Wow.
So all the chains that you see that the 50 caliber machine gun that the Marines use, that's what my mom did.
Wow.
And my pops worked at night, and my mom worked in the day, so they could have somebody there for us. I mean, I came from nothing, dirt poor. My dad had a 3rd grade education. My mom had a high school. That's it.
Wow.
How about yourself? I know your mom worked at a laundry or something. What's the story there?
My parents were divorced when I was 12. My mother, brother, sister, and I moved to California. on our own. And my mom became a clerk at a dry cleaners. Wow. And I had to get a job myself, so I got a minimum wage job at the swimming pool next to Dorsey High, which is where I went to high school.
Okay.
And so I've had to work for everything since day one. Nobody handed me anything.
Exactly. So I want to dispel that misconception that people think, oh, you got to be wealthy to make it. No, you don't. I think, let me ask you, what do you think what it takes? What gene or what trait do you have to make it happen?
A little bit of anger combined with a lot of competitiveness, and then a zest for knowledge. Just like you, I'm an avid, voracious reader and a seeker of information. And I know there are self-made millionaires out there, and I knew that back then. I'm like, well, if somebody came from nothing to have something, then it's possible. So that means it's possible for me. And I'm very competitive and a little bit arrogant. I think if anybody could do it, I can do it.
That's right. It's funny, when I first started cold calling at M&M, and I'm looking at these names, and I get the guy on the other line, I can't even pronounce his name. And he's talking to me. He has a strong accent. I'm thinking, you own apartment buildings?
Right. You
have a high net. How the heck did you do it?
Right.
And I'm thinking about that. Shoot, if he can do it, I can do it. Absolutely. But you hit the nail on the head. You have to have a little edge. You got to be competitive. It's just like playing sports.
Yep. It's exactly like playing sports. Yeah. That's why so many people that you find that are self-made were athletes at some point during their life, because there's this competitiveness that lives inside of them, and they don't like to lose, and they like to accomplish things, and they're willing to work for it. Now, there's a key. A lot of people lack work ethic. We live in a world where people want a magic pill or a magic button, and the fact is no success happens like that. And
Zero success.
You bring work ethic to any equation, and you can make it a successful equation.
Yeah, that's funny you say that. I think where I got my edge and my anger and my go at it attitude was the Marine Corps.
Well, there you go.
Man, if you can survive that, and I love to hire vets because I know they got what it takes. If they're coachable, we're going to make money together, because we all make money. And that's what it's about, helping other people to get in the game and making it happen. So, all right, so let's talk first deal. You're here at Marcus & Bethel, and you say who was your senior again?
Rafi Krikorian.
Rafi Krikorian. Now, funny enough, I didn't know this until today, but Rafi was my senior. He's the guy that taught me. He's the guy to help me get to the six-figure level. And he was straight with me. I said, look, Rafi, I'm a Marine. You can tell me whatever the heck you want. It's not going to offend me, and I need to know. And he gave me some great tips. He said, look, you have an excellent story. Tell who you are. And I remember going in the meeting, a presentation. I'm like, okay, here's the cap rate, here's the GRM, and the guy's looking at me like, I don't want to know that. I want to know who you are. What do you know about yourself? Well, who are you? Why am I going to trust you with this $5 million property, which was very cool. So tell me, what was your first deal with Rafi?
Well, it was interesting because Rafi was a shopping center specialist. And I got assigned to him, but I told him I'm selling apartments. I'm in this to sell apartment buildings. Sure. And so he gave me the apartment directory. Boom, this big giant book with 12,000 names and phone numbers in it. It was everybody in Southern California that owned an apartment building. He says, start dialing. And so I had to hit the phones. And the funny thing is, this is where the work ethic thing comes in. Sure. Because, you flash forward 7, 8 years later, and, I'm making 7 figures, and I'm driving all the great cars and got the great houses and all that stuff. And people go, oh, my God, I should get into real estate. You're doing great. Well, I want to take them backwards 6 or 7 or 8 years and let them see me sitting in that cubicle making 150 calls a day, and then learning my numbers and realizing that it took me 992 calls to get one listing appointment, and that listing appointment would turn into a transaction that could make me between $20,000 and $40,000 on average. Once I learned my numbers, I knew, okay, let me get to number 992, and that's where my next paycheck comes from. But the fact of the matter is, I have now coached and hired 1,000 real estate agents in my career, and the fact is, if you don't come to it willing to put in that work, then you won't get there. And nothing is as easy as it looks. You get to see the results. You get to see Jesus in the great suit and the super watch and the life. But the fact is, behind all of that is some serious work that you have to be willing to put in, or you don't get there. And you bring that to any industry, and that's the name of the game.
I love it. The other day, I check. I'm a Facebook. I'm on that Facebook all the time, man. I didn't want to use the word that I had in my mind.
Me too.
So I'm on that, and I'm up early. I used to do a 4:45 boot camp out here at a place called Warriors Fitness. So I'm out there hitting it. And I come home and I look, and I'm looking at Facebook, and who do I see? I see Darren Campbell there. And I see him there, and you're like, hey, I'm out here doing the work. I'm getting in the gym. I'm getting after it. Now, you said something very interesting. Everybody thinks, they see the result, and they think, okay, yeah, he did it. He did something magic. But no, you have to do the work. And I tell everybody I train also, I tell them the same thing. You got to be the first one in and last one out.
Absolutely.
And when I was there, the guy that I worked for, his name was John Walsh. And John Walsh, I remember they used to tell, you see him walking around the office, and they say, oh, that John, he's so arrogant. He doesn't talk to anybody. And then I started analyzing that, and I said, well, let me see what this guy does. So I'm going to watch him. So he would be in the office about 6 in the morning, 6:30. So I'd get in there and like, oh, there's John. He's got his door closed, and he's working.
Yep.
And then it's about 7 o'clock at night. There's John.
Yep.
And at noon, he opens the door, goes in, he brown bags it.
Yes.
Remember that.
He was number one in the firm, brown bagging it.
Brown bagging it. He brings his lunch, puts it in the micro. He might say hi to a couple people, goes back to the office and working it. Top producer in the company. I remember I was with him. I was on his team when he made his first $1 million
I remember
in
that
commission.
year. I remember that year.
And I'm like, oh, okay. And they would say, oh, this guy he doesn't talk to anybody. He's arrogant. And I'm like, no. Yeah. He is focused. And then one day, I remember one year, he did something interesting. And now you probably remember this. He put a cross on his window, an X on the window of his office. And everybody in the office is talking about that. Why does he have an X there? Why isn't he? At the end of the year, we're at Benihana's, and he says, okay, now I'm going to tell you why. He goes, that is my focus. That is my goal. That keeps me focused. So every time I get distracted, I look at the X, and I know that's where I need to be.
Wow. That's deep.
That guy was something else.
It's so funny. I know him well, and he was number one when I got to the firm. Before you got there, he was already number one. And the funny thing was, no one in the firm had ever had a 7-figure year. And I remember when he put the cue card on his phone with his goal on it. Remember that?
Yep.
He had a recipe card on his phone, and we kind of chuckled because we're like, $1 million? Are you crazy? No one's going to make $1 million broker. Because this, I mean, prices were much, much lower back then.
Yep.
And so to make $1 million was bonkers. The dude,
you had to close like, what, 20 deals or something?
These are apartment buildings, so they're not easy to close. It's not like, spinning houses around like we know how to do. But the fact is he set the goal. But he brought the work ethic to the table to accomplish the goal. And you couldn't distract. There was a guy you couldn't distract. I had a similar experience right after I paid my dues with Rafi, which was 2 closed transactions. He got half of the check. I was a little angry about that. But anyway, after I graduated from that, I went to another guy in the firm. I don't know if you remember a guy named Aaron Abacassis.
Of course I remember, yeah.
And Aaron was one of the top 2 or 3 guys in the company as well, but he specialized in apartments like I wanted to do. And I went to him and I said, look, I'm not a junior. I'm not Rafi's junior anymore. I want to work under you. He goes, well, you're not a junior anymore. You don't have to. I go, are you like top 3 in this company? He goes, yeah. I go, that's why. And he goes, well, listen, you got to do everything I say. And he goes, and I don't want to hear any excuses. And you got to be here when I'm here. And you got to stay till I leave. And if you want to do that, I'll do it. He goes, and by the way, why would you come to me? Nobody likes me here. I go, you're in the top 5, aren't you? I go, that's why. He proceeded to take me under his wing and give me all kinds of instructions. And I followed him to the T. And before you know it, I was in the 6-figure club. I was then in the top 10 and grew and grew and grew from there. But you see what's common between both of those guys? Work ethic off the charts. They were not afraid of the work every day.
Yep.
Every day. There is no free lunch. Life can be easy after you've paid the dues.
That's right.
Most people just don't want to pay the dues.
That's it. You hit it on the nose. So it's interesting you say that. So I had a guy they were sharing stories here. There was a guy, Spencer Rance. And Spencer Rance, this is when I was working with Rafi. Spencer Rance comes in, and Rafi says, okay, I want you to train this guy. I'm okay, no problem. So I talked to Spencer. Spencer's, okay, cool, yeah, all right, you're one of the top guys here. Good, all right, perfect, no problem. So Spencer, in his own mind, says, I know what I'm doing. All right, no problem. So I let him do whatever he wanted to. So 3 months later, Rafi calls me in his office. He's like, Jesus, what are you doing? You're not spending any time with this guy. And I said, no, he's not ready yet. He's like, what do you mean? I said, when the student is ready, the master will appear.
That's right.
And he says, what do you mean? He goes, I told him, he's not coachable. He's not coachable. But so Rafi goes and brings Spencer in, and Spencer says, he's not teaching me. He says, okay, I need you now to listen to Jesus and do everything he tells you to do.
Bingo.
And I told him, okay, so I brought Spencer in. I said, okay, now you're ready. And I told him, here's what you have to do. And by the way, his background, he was a music major.
Wow, interesting.
Music major, okay?
Interesting.
So he comes in. I said, okay, here's the plan. Here are the goals. Here's what you have to do every day. You're first one in, last one out, 150 calls a day. I said, you have no deals, so there's no reason why.
Nothing else to do.
You cannot be the top guy here in phone calls, because every week I don't know if they ever did that Marcus and Mel chat.
Yeah, right after I left, they started doing the phone list.
Yeah, no,
showing how many you called.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah.
So Monday mornings at my office, or in our Robbie's office, boom, we'd put up the phone numbers. Who's number one in the phones? And they have everybody, and we'd compare everybody where phones are.
Wow.
So I told Spencer, you have to be the top guy every week. You do that, and you're going to make money. Says, once the deal comes in, I'll help you with the rest. Don't worry about it. Just do what I tell you. He's like, all right. He resigned. Okay, I want to do it. I got to pay bills. Things aren't going good. So he was ready. Top guy, first year with me, made $250,000.
There you go. And, you know, the genius of it is there was no magic pill.
There is no magic pill.
There was just the work. You put in the work. And so we're blessed enough to know that if you put in a certain amount of work in the right channel, in the right industry, in the right department, then freedom can be yours. Life can be your oyster.
Absolutely. That's great you say that, because it's just not only real estate. You can be the best accountant.
Yep.
You can be the best doctor.
Yep.
You can be the best football coach. You can be the best teacher, whatever it is. And I'm a firm believer of that. If you put in the work and you make it happen, and don't listen to criticism. And
no.
I read this along the way. It was one of my tapes. We'll talk about tapes a little bit later. First tape, it said, when you're on the path to success, the hardest critics are going to be your friends.
Oh, yeah.
And your family.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember this conversation with my parents. You're working for free?
I got that story too.
You're going in at 6 in the morning and you're coming home at 8 o'clock at night and you're working for free?
Yep.
I'm like, yes.
Yep.
Like, no, you need to go back and ask for money. I'm like, that's not going to happen.
You know, I have a very, very similar story. When I was ready to quit the UCLA fundraising job, I was making $50,000 at 22 years old.
And you're living large.
And my mom thinks, boy, he's rich. My son made it. And I go to her and I go, Mom, I'm quitting my job. She goes, what? I go, I'm going into real estate. She goes, what? She goes, how much does that pay? I said, nothing. And she said, what? I said, it's commission only. You don't make anything until you sell something. She goes, oh, Darren, don't quit that good old job you have. And then about flash forward 3 years later, when I handed her the keys to a brand new Mercedes and bought her the business she worked in and gave it to her, I was like, Mom, you still think I should have stayed on that good job I had? She's like, no, son, you made the right move. But the fact is, there's somebody out there making $1 million making plastic water bottles. There's somebody out there making $1 million doing whatever.
Selling the water in the plastic bottle.
I know a guy like that. The fact is, you can make it in almost any industry. You can apply this work ethic to any industry and make it. It's just you got to bring that work ethic. That doesn't change.
And and we'll go to the break right now. Once again, we got Darren Campbell live in studio, Darren Campbell Capital. And before we go on the break, I want to say, and that translates into family life and how you raise kids.
That's
if
right.
you put in the work, you'll even have success then. Jesus Henao, Leola Commercial Hour.
Life's not meant to feel complacent. It's meant to make you feel alive. The youth ministry at the Church on the Way Santa Clarita believes that students can belong to the group where we will help them believe they have a purpose in Christ and become all that He has created them to be. We want to see God's power come alive in our generation. We love meeting new people, so come hang out with us. Doors open at 6 p.m. and service starts at 7 every Wednesday night. For more information about the Church on the Way Santa Clarita, including service times and what's happening through the end of the year, visit tcotwsc.org.
The Santa Clarita Artists Association has a new gallery in downtown Newhall on 6th Street between Main and Railroad, right across from the Canyon Theater Guild. The gallery features our members' paintings, sculptures, and one-of-a-kind handcrafted gift items. Whether you're an art lover, buyer, or an artist wishing to join, visit our website at santaclaritaartist.org, come to our free monthly meetings at Barnes & Noble, or stop by the gallery. For upcoming events and exhibits, check us out at santaclaritaartist.org. We make visual art visible.
Drug and alcohol use can lead to troubles at school or work, relationship problems, financial or legal difficulties, medical and psychiatric issues. I'm Bob Sheritz, the host of the Way Out Recovery Hour, airing every Monday at noon. The Way Out Recovery Hour features prominent
paper called Katie Hill's campaign. It reported on her campaign's lies, misrepresentations, and relentless attacks. It's time for civility. Enough is enough.
Like you, I'm sick and tired of the political rhetoric from my opponent. It's meant to scare voters. So I want to tell you exactly what I believe. I'm Steve Knight, and I believe Social Security and Medicare must be protected. I believe our seniors have earned and deserve these benefits, and I believe that our veterans should get the best care available. That's why I fight for our seniors and our veterans every day.
Steve Knight served our country in the United States Army, spent 18 years as an officer with the Los Angeles Police Department, and still lives in Palmdale, where he and his wife Lily raised their 2 sons. Named one of the most bipartisan members of Congress, Steve Knight works across party lines to get results for our community, from protecting Social Security and Medicare to standing up for veterans. Steve Knight fights for us.
I'm Steve Knight, and I approve this message.
Are you ready for some football? Consumers Furniture is. Come on in and check out our huge selection of Power Motion furniture. We have the largest selection of reclining sectionals, sofas, love seats, and recliners in the Santa Clarita Valley. Fabric or leather, Consumers has the right piece at the right price to make your home ready for all the big games. Need it for this Saturday or Sunday? No problem. Consumers has same-day or next-day delivery on most of our items. Consumers Furniture is located in the Center Point Shopping Center right below Sam's Club and Walmart.
Hey there, it's Story with your hometown station weather. A beautiful day for us today. Temperatures are going to be cooler than the last couple of days. We're going to see sunny skies and highs in the low 80s for the next couple of days. Overnight clear with lows in the low to mid 50s. For anything and everything SCV, find KHTS on social media at KHTS Radio. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and at hometownstation.com.
Your hometown station.
Santa Clarita's hometown station. Hometown station.
KHTS AM 1220 and the new 98.1 FM.
Welcome back to the Commercial Hour. This is Jesus Henao, Leola Commercial. I have Darren Campbell of Darren Campbell Capital. Oh, my gosh.
There it is. You can just say DC Capital, too.
DC Capital, perfect. In studio. Now we're going to talk about structuring deals. Okay, so people think you need a lot of money to buy deals, to buy an apartment building.
We need a sound effect, explosion. That's a myth. That's a myth. You don't need a bunch of money. You don't need a bunch of capital. You don't have to be born rich. Check me out right here. Check out both of us. You don't have to be endowed.
Don't be fooled by the tie.
Yeah, no silver spoon necessary. The bottom line is you need to learn the game. And if you learn the game the right way, you'll realize there's 100 different ways to be a real estate owner. The first 2 apartment buildings I ever owned, I bought with nothing down, zero money.
All right, tell us about that deal. And by the way, I grew up eating beans and rice, brother.
There you go. There you go. So look,
I didn't know you could. I didn't know you could make several foods out of beans and rice.
You got creative with those beans and rice after a while, huh?
My mom did. And it's funny you say that. I used to work at a nightclub, and I was a nightclub DJ, and the owner would tell me, he would say, it's very interesting. He would say, Jesus, sometimes you eat beans and rice, sometimes we eat steak.
There you go. There you go. You know, a lot of people have come from humble beginnings, but when they realize that if you put the effort into learning what you want to learn and really dive in, there's a lot of ways to make it in this world, particularly in our game. So for instance, what I knew that apartment buildings were a great way to grow my worth, grow my income, grow my financial stability. And so I was always on the hunt as I'm brokering, as I'm cold calling every day back in the good old days, talking to apartment owners. I know there's a way for me to get in there, and I got to figure it out. And so I happened to run across a guy who said, come on over, let's talk about selling both of my buildings. I'm ready to move out of the country. but I want to do it quickly. I want to close these deals fast, because so I'm moving away.
Our phones are like ringing
Phones
off the
are
hook.
blowing up.
I
man.
want to. They're saying I want to get in right now.
My tribe is calling me like crazy. Everybody, hey,
get me in. Get me in.
Well, so I sat down with this guy, and I learned what his story was. That he was going to go do some mission in Guatemala or something. I can't even remember the country. But he said, I got to sell these fast. I go, well, I don't have any money, but I'd love to buy them from you. I go, would you consider just carrying the notes on both of them, and I'll take them now? He goes, wait a minute. He goes, if I carry the loan, then you'll collect the rent, you'll do the maintenance, you'll pay the taxes, you just send me the money like I'm the bank? I go, yeah, you be the bank, carry the whole purchase price for me, and I'll buy both buildings at the asking price. He goes, and how fast could we close that? I go, would tomorrow be okay? And we closed those deals in 3 days. I bought them both. I ended up with a 4-unit building and a 12-unit building. 20-something, 23 years old, I guess I was, and 0 down. I own 2 apartment buildings all of a sudden. I pay him. I made him carry the note at, back then, 6% interest-only notes. The 2 buildings were bringing in at the time $6,000 a month, I think, and I owed him about $3,800 a month, and so the rest was my money. And he's carrying the note. I put nothing down.
And by the way, your money, but it was free money because of depreciation.
Depreciation. Wait, let me think about this for a second.
We haven't talked about that.
The buildings go up in value every year, but Uncle Sam lets me act as if they go down in value every year. And so I'm making this cash flow, so that extra couple $1,000 goes in my pocket. The value of the buildings go up as I improve them and as the market got better. And then Uncle Sam says, well, Darren, you can knock down the value of them on paper every year and save that money from your taxes. I go, wait a minute. Where's the downside here? There was none. The bottom line was, this is the best game in town.
So here's my term for depreciation. Now, I want to make this clear. I'm Hispanic. Darren's black.
Yep.
There is no.
I might check.
There's no only white people. Get that out of your mind.
Oh yeah.
Success is not determined by the color of your skin or any of that. It's determined by the hustle you have and how bad do you want it. So I'm Colombian, and here's what I call depreciation. Okay, laundering money. Legally way of laundering money.
It is. It makes real estate ownership a double victory. It's a win-win situation. And the crazy thing is, most real estate, over time, all real estate goes up in value. But the beauty of the game that has been created for us is you get to act as if it's going down in value from a tax standpoint, it's like kind of ridiculous. It's why everyone needs to own some kind of real estate.
Absolutely.
If you're just going to pay rent the rest of your life, you have no idea how much money, how much of your disposable income you are flushing down
Throwing
the
it
toilet.
in the trash.
You might as well just be burning the money.
So here's what I did. Now here's my first deal. A 3-unit apartment building. I think it was $200,000.
Okay.
I bought it for $200,000. I think I put a down payment of $30,000, got a loan on it. And I said, okay, I don't want to pay any more rent. Mm-hmm. So I moved into one of the units. Me and my wife, is just the 2 of us. And the other 2 tenants are
paying your mortgage. That's called free housing.
That's called free housing.
That's called free housing.
So, and the beauty of it is, since it was a 1 to 3 units, it qualified as a single family.
Yeah.
So I got, I think, 95% loan to value.
And so what people need to know is below 5 units, so 1 to 4s are financed like houses.
That's right.
And there are housing loans, single-family housing loans that go anywhere from 0% down to up to 20% down in the conventional world. So
that's right.
I closed last year probably 6 transactions for people who bought them with nothing down. So everybody who thinks money is their problem, money doesn't have to be your problem. It doesn't take a bunch of cash to get into an ownership position. You just have to have the knowledge to know that no money down exists. And then you need to make a smart purchase, of course. You don't just buy any. We're not in the business of just having our name on a title to a piece of real estate. You got to buy intelligently because, you make money when you buy. You make your money when you buy. You make an intelligent purchase, that will pay you back for years and years and years. So you have to be smart when you buy. So don't just run out and buy anything just to get your name on
Darren
the deed.
said I can get 0 down. I'm going to go buy this $1.5 million home, and somehow I'm going to make it. No, it doesn't work that way. No.
You're not in this game just to get your name on title. You want to make a smart purchase. So you find a motivated seller. I tell people all the time in the course that I teach about the 4 Ds. You want to find the most motivated sellers, and those are defined in my world by the 4 Ds. You want to know what they are?
Give it to us.
They are death. They are divorce. They are the dissolution of partnerships, and they are distress. And that's foreclosures, bankruptcies, etc. So all these 4 Ds create the 4 most motivated types of sellers on planet Earth. So every time you see me buy a piece of real estate, it's from somebody in one of those situations. I always tell people, I don't buy real estate, I buy situations.
That's right.
And the situations are dictated by those things that make people motivated, because those people sell because they need to, not because they want to.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. So right now I'm in 2 deals, and we talked about this before. One deal, out-of-state buyer, distressed building.
Bingo.
Vacant units, problems. He's carrying the first. I'm coming in with a small down. Opportunity for me.
If he didn't need to sell, he wouldn't carry that loan for you.
Well,
but he needs to sell.
What's funny, he called me up and says, "Hey, Zeus, I need X amount of dollars like last week, yesterday." And I said, "I can get you that. No problem."
And you know exactly where you can get that.
I got on a plane. Okay, here's where we go back to motivation. I got on a plane. He's up in Modesto. I got on a plane from LAX, went to Modesto, rented a car, went to his home on a weekend on Saturday. I told my wife, "Hey, I got to go up to Modesto to close this deal." She's like, "You're what?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going." Went online, found a little airplane, $200, 8 people plane, got on the plane, landed in Modesto, rented a car, drove an hour, met the guy with contract in hand. I said, "Okay, you want the money? Here's what we need to do. Here's the contract." Had lunch with him, signed, came back, done deal. I'm going to close next week.
See, that's the way the game works. That's the way the game works. I did a similar deal last month, and the guy was in somewhat of a desperate situation. This is an example of distress. This guy lost his job, had health issues, had a very, very nice house in Orange County, and was 5 payments behind.
Ooh.
And the bank was about to come, and he was going to lose that house. And so what we put together was a situation where we could catch up all the mortgage payments, we could give him some walk-away money,
yeah,
and we could take over that mortgage, clean up that house, and resell it. That situation, at the end of the day, there was a couple $100,000 left on the table, but he was excited just to get out clean, just to get some money to move and restart, and he was never going to be able to make that payment again. So we solved his problem, solved his situation,
yeah,
and had an opportunity to make a bunch of money on a piece of real estate. So long and short of it is, opportunities exist because life happens. These situations happen. Do people still get divorced?
Yes.
I'm a living testimony. Do people get into trouble? Do they lose jobs? So get into distress situations?
Or die?
Every day. Do they die? Unfortunately, every day. And what a lot of people don't know is the 4th D is dissolution of partnerships. You know, there are a lot of partnerships out there that have a sunset period. So guys might have gotten together to buy an apartment building, 3 or 4 guys, and they said, and they wrote in their agreement, at the end of 5 years, we sell. So in the 5th year, they have to sell. Not that they want to sell necessarily, or they have to sell per contract. Mm-hmm. So what that means many times is they got to sell it right now to whoever will pay the most. Yeah. And that might be a bad time in the market. That might be an inconvenient time, but they still got to sell.
That's right.
There's an opportunity.
So let me ask you, what book? I know we talked about studying and catching up. What books are in your library that helped you get to where you need to be?
Oh, good Lord!
You're probably like me. You're probably doing audiobooks too by now.
Oh yeah, Audible is great because when I'm running or riding my bike, I'm listening to books. I read at least 3 books a month. So I tell my kids, I was like, I went to UCLA, but I have about 8 college educations because of all the books I read. So I'm always gobbling up information. So I'll give you a few. A couple in my top 5, I guess. I've learned in business that speed is everything. So be nimble, be quick. So one of my favorite books is called, no, Blink is good. But one of my favorite books is called,
the fast.
It's not the big that eat the small. It's the fast that eat the slow.
Yeah.
Great book because it'll teach you about speed and being nimble and how you got to jump on a plane and go to Modesto and make a deal. That's right. It's about speed and about being nimble. Like, wait, I see an opportunity today. I'm going to go this morning.
Call me on a Thursday. Friday I was on the plane.
There you go. I had a situation where I saw a place for a client yesterday, And I found out that another offer is scheduled to come in on Tuesday. And guess what I'm about to do? My offer's going in today. As soon as I'm done with your show, this offer's going in. I'm going to snake that property before the other person
It's
comes.
funny you just said that because I just closed a 22-unit deal in Southgate, and we competed for the listing. An M&M guy didn't want to go for me, but I know because I'm in the business now for many years. I told the guy, I said, so how much you want for it? He said 3.5. Call my guy, 3.5, all cash, no financing. Next day, guess who got the deal?
You?
Closed it in 30 days, all cash.
Wow.
They're like, oh, my gosh, I did.
Hey, you got to be nimble. You got to be quick.
Yeah, that's right.
You got to be nimble and quick. And the bottom line is that's how you win opportunities.
Absolutely.
You know, I'll tell you one thing. I'll give you a great story. You know Greg Harris is one of our former colleagues. He's still in the business, selling apartment buildings. He and I had an opportunity to list this lady's entire apartment portfolio. Oh, my God, maybe 8 or 9 buildings. And it was going to be a giant payday for the two of us, young brokers out there, young realtors, hustling apartment buildings. And we did this elaborate proposal. Greg does better proposals than anybody I know. So it was this big, giant book we put together for this lady.
Binded everything.
All bound and beautiful. And then we go and present to her. We spend 2 and 3 hours presenting. And she goes, okay, I like what you guys are doing. I'll sign all your listing agreements. This is on a Thursday, I think. And she said, okay, give me till Monday. I'll look it over, give it to my attorney, and I'll sign the listing agreements by Tuesday morning. We go, all right, great. So we're driving home. We're excited, right? We got it. We're going to make a bunch of money. She calls us later that evening and said, I got an offer from a guy. He's $3 million lower than you guys, but he said if I don't sign it by Saturday, he's going to withdraw the offer, and he'll close all cash. And I think I'm going to take it. We go, what? We go, wait a minute, but we can get you $3 million more than he's talking about. She says, but he's all cash and he'll close next week. And do you know, she signed that deal, took the deal. He snaked those deals from us. Why? Because he had the cash and he was nimble and he made a move and he put a gun to his head and said, if you don't answer me by X at 5 p.m., I'm out and I withdraw my offer. And the fear of not making a deal at all got him the deal.
And that's what I did to the guy in Southgate, the M&M guy.
Take it or leave it. You gave him a take it or leave it thing, right?
I said, here it is. No, I just asked him, what do you want? And he said, I want 3.5.
And you brought it.
I'm like, okay, I'll bring it. No worries. And he told me, we're not going to list with you. We're going with the M&M guy. And so too bad. So, he said, too bad, so sad. What'd I do? I hung up the phone, and I was pounding my 150 calls a day. Every owner in Southgate, every buyer that I have in my but now it's not anymore phone calls. It's text, it's email, it's phone. Yeah. It's the work.
You can touch a lot of people a lot faster these days, right?
Before it was like, you're on the phone.
Oh, my
Forget
God.
it.
Yeah, we're picking up the phone and hanging it up after every dial. Today is a whole new world, so you can touch a lot more
I love that. Boom, got it. Okay, you're done deal.
Yep.
Walked it. We went non-contingent like in 2 days. Boom, okay, we're good.
There you go.
And that M&M
guy in there and took that deal.
And you know what? I love it.
The way it's supposed to work, man. It's the way it's supposed to work.
I love it because you know what? I learned the hard way. Some M&M guys did it to me.
Oh, man. It's happened to all of us.
Yeah, and my mind is like, it's payback. Yeah.
That's exactly right. Yeah. And that's the name of the game. The seller's trying to accomplish something, and you offered him a straighter line to it. And many times, it's not about the last dollar. Many times, it's about what they are trying to accomplish. That's why I talk about those motivated sellers. Sure. Because those people are selling for a reason other than the last dollar. So many times,
and this was a partnership breakup too.
See, there you go. See, that's real. That's because anybody who's selling for greed will put it on the market, and they're willing to wait. Hey, let's see what happens. Let's put it out there. But people who have a reason, people who have an urgency, people who have some kind of desperation, those people will sell and they'll leave some money on the table.
Absolutely.
That's where your best deals are made.
So what other books? We got 2.
Like I gave you, not the big that eat the small, it's the fast that eat the slow. Mm-hmm. T. Harv Eker is brilliant. Secrets of the Millionaire Mind is a great, in my top 5 kind of book. The One Thing by Gary Keller, founder of Keller Williams, great book. And there's a whole lot more. I mean, I could go on and on and on, but those are 3 good ones to start with.
So here's mine, okay? And I said it last week. The first one that actually Mark Rodriguez, a friend of ours, gave me when I first got in the business was Lead the Field by Earl Nightingale. That was my first one. I'm like, oh, that's good. So that's one of my top. Next one, and you know this one, Brian Tracy.
Oh, yeah.
The Psychology of Selling. Fantastic.
Awesome.
Now, the one that I really love is this one, And I don't know if maybe you heard of it. I don't know. The Secrets of Power Negotiating.
Ooh.
Have you ever heard that one?
No, I've heard of the 48 Laws of Power, but this is good. The Secrets of Power.
Roger Dawson.
Really?
Fantastic book. You'll love it.
Really?
It's on Audible or somewhere. I don't know. I've had this book forever.
Wow.
Very good. The guy went to USC.
Wow.
Although his daughter went to USC.
He survived anyway. He came out all right.
Yeah. Great book. You got to listen to that. So that's a fantastic book. So
let me give you a secret one, a hidden one that nobody knows about. All right, you've all heard of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Yeah.
There's a second book that he wrote that his wife and a lot of friends would not let him publish. They refused to publish. And then 50 years later, the foundation published the book. It's called Outwitting the Devil, and it is insane. It is so good. It's about procrastination, drifting, and why people don't make it, and how society is teaching us all the wrong things about how to conform and about how to be complacent and how to drift and not do anything definitive. Yeah. It's phenomenal.
Okay,
Find it. Find it.
And one last one, and I don't know if you read it. It's called Relentless.
Yes.
By Tim S. Grover.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's
Michael Jordan's coach.
Yeah.
That's the Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant brain coach.
Yeah. And if after you listen to that book, if you're not up at 4 a.m. getting after it, there's no hope for you.
You want to be a cleaner, baby. You want to be a cleaner.
Once again, this is Jesus Henao. I have Darren Campbell in. This is the Commercial Hour, and we're going to a break.
Little Eye Leaders is the newest preschool in the Santa Clarita Valley. At Little Eye Leaders, our outstanding teachers lead with intellect, perspective, and heart. That means our programs provide a warm, nurturing atmosphere to meet the unique needs of each child. We believe that play is a powerful form of learning for young children. That's why our kids have every opportunity to learn through the magic and excitement of play. Parents, schedule a tour today by calling 303-0400 or online at littleeyeleaders.org.
Your hometown station.
It's no secret that KHTS has the best midday talk show lineup around. If you've missed any of your favorites, no problem. KHTS has you covered. Podcasts for all the midday shows can be found right on our website, hometownstation.com. Whether you missed a show from 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, or 2 years ago, and you want to catch up, we got you covered. They're all right there. Plus extra podcasts too. That's hometownstation.com. Hometownstation.com.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
Do you think taxpayers should pay for politicians' political campaigns? Assembly candidate Christy Smith does. Christy Smith supports raising our taxes. But guess where the money would go? Christy Smith wants to spend as much as $600 million in taxpayer money paying for the annoying mail and TV that politicians bombard us with. Let that sink in. Assembly candidate Christy Smith wants you to pay for political campaigns, even for those politicians you disagree with. Let that sink in. Christy Smith would spend $600 million for politicians instead of better roads or better schools for our kids. Christy Smith is just wrong.
Women deserve equal pay for equal work. It's just that simple. That's what's good about Assemblyman Dante Acosta. Dante Acosta voted to require equal pay for equal work. And Dante Acosta voted to let every child attend pre-kindergarten. That's Dante Acosta. Bipartisan, independent, fair.
Paid for by Dante Acosta for Assembly 2018.
Hey there, it's Story with your hometown station weather. A beautiful day for us today. Temperatures are going to be cooler than the last couple of days. We're going to see sunny skies and highs in the low 80s for the next couple of days. Overnight clear with lows in the low to mid 50s. For anything and everything SCV, find KHTS on social media at KHTS Radio. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and at hometownstation.com.
Your hometown station.
Your hometown station.
KHTS AM 1220 and the new 98.1 FM.
Once again, welcome back. This is the Commercial Hour. Jesus Henao of Leola Commercial. I have one of my good friends in studio, Darren Campbell. Darren Campbell, there you go, DC Capital. Man, I'm having a hard time today. All right, and we're talking real estate. And usually the last couple of minutes of the show, I like to I use it to help the guy out there that's going to college, graduated high school, is looking to make a move, looking to get ahead. What advice would you give to these kids in high school? Coming out of high school, they're now in college, or maybe they're community college guys, because I was a community college guy. I transferred from Glendale College to USC because I couldn't afford all that. All that,
Oh, yeah.
all that money.
Oh, yeah.
And believe me, the Marine Corps GI Bill was nothing back then. I think they gave me a total of $12,000. That might have covered my books at USC.
Maybe,
so,
right?
Well, so what advice you got for him?
Well, what I would say is, one, you got to develop a work ethic. You can't. You got to mentally decide that you're going to do whatever it takes to get somewhere in life. And I think a lot of people are waiting for some kind of easy road, some kind of handout, some kind of fast track. And what you'll learn as you matriculate through life is there is no easy road. Success is built up, where hard work, preparation, and opportunity all collide.
That's what luck is, right? Where preparedness.
The harder you work, the luckier you get. That's just real.
That's when hard work, with preparedness meets opportunity.
Yep.
That's luck.
That's exactly right. And so I would say, you could choose a number of different industries. You could want to be a stockbroker. You could become a real estate guy. You could become whatever it is you want to become. Forget about the idea that there's some fast fix, then that there's some easy road.
No such thing.
Learn everything you can learn about whatever it is you choose to do. Become a scholar in that. A lot of people are scattered. Zeus, people are all over the place, and they want to follow that guy and chase that object and try that, and this guy made it in that, so I'm going to check that out too. I say focus is the most important word in the English language. Find your area of focus and become the absolute guru of whatever that is. And I don't care if it's water bottles. Become the guru of water bottles, and that will lead you to the paths that give you the greatest amount of success.
Absolutely. That's it. You hit it on the nail on the head. It's like I talk to young guys, and they're like, oh, I want to do this. Oh, I want this. Okay, you want to do sales. Tell me, what books do you have about selling? Or tell me, what books outside of accounting do you have? Who do you listen to that out there that's a speaker on accounting? Who do you listen to as motivation? Who do you listen to about goals? Tell me who you have. And you know what they say? I don't know.
They got nothing, right?
I got nothing, yeah. Okay. So in our life, our world is different because when we first started, there was really no big internet. Nope. So I couldn't just Google, blah, 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 oh, motivation, real estate here.
Right.
We couldn't do that. We had to really.
They gave us a mentor who was down the hall or in the private office while we sat in the cubicle, right?
That's right. And he said, well, you can check out this book. Go find it at the library. Go to Barnes and Nobles and find the book. And I remember going to Barnes and Noble.
Yeah.
Across the street from the old M&M office, and okay, let me see selling, and
yep.
I'd go and I'd pull a book, okay, I'm gonna read it. But that took effort on my part. Now it's so much easier.
It's at your fingertips. Google, whatever. You can have a mentor. See, we were given mentors, and we had to go check in his office every morning, right?
Yep.
Today, you can have a mentor at your fingertips. You can have a mentor. You can have 2 or 3 mentors, and you could visit them online every day. You can read their books. You can read their blogs. You can read their articles, because there's nothing new under the sun. I don't care what it is you think you want to do. Someone has done it in one manner or another before you. Choose the best role model and mirror what they do. You don't have to
reinvent
the
wheel.
Microchip. The bottom line is someone is doing or has done what it is you want to do. Model that.
Yep. And then do whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
And here's the one that blows me away. I can't go to college. I have no money.
Come on.
I had somebody in my office yesterday telling me, young girl, I'm a bishop in my church, and her mom says, you need to talk to my daughter. I'm like, okay, bring her here. We'll talk to her. She's like, look, I'm going to graduate. I want to go to this school, that school, and it's $20,000, $30,000, and my mom works at a car wash, and I don't have the money. And I said, okay, stop right there. I said, you don't need money to go to college.
That's right.
She's like, I go, do you have good grades? Oh, I'm a 4.0 student. I said, don't worry about it. We're going to take care of it from there. I directed her, and I sent my son there, Utah, college there, $4,000 a year, buddy.
Wow. See? You see, the bottom line is, whatever you think is an obstacle is really just what you think is an obstacle. It's like I own 2 apartment buildings with no money down. Who would have thought you could do that? The fact is, it exists.
That's right. And here's the thing. Humans in general. Have you ever done the Landmark Forum, by the way?
No, I heard about this.
Landmark Forum is pretty good. Okay.
Yeah, I've heard.
Landmark Forum, one thing they do is people create stories. And here's the stories. I can't buy real estate.
Yeah.
I don't have any money.
Yeah.
I can't go to college.
I was born poor.
I'm black, I'm white, I'm Hispanic, I'm Asian.
Yeah.
Only Asians are smart. Only the Asians are making money. Only the doctors are making money.
Yeah.
It's all ridiculous. These are stories we invent and we create.
And believe.
And believe, exactly. And that's the biggest stumbling block people have.
It really is.
It is.
It's your belief system.
Yeah.
And and the funny thing is, faith is an interesting thing because faith is knowing that you can. You see, there's one thing about like thinking you can or believing you can or trying to get inspired that you can. The fact of the matter is you can. And once you get to the point where you believe it, then providence makes things happen because you know it's possible. So no longer do you stop at any bump in the road or any obstacle because you're just thinking about your goal and you know it's achievable. And once you know it's achievable, what can stop you?
That's right. I love it. Once again, this is a commercial hour. Darren, thank you for coming in today.
My pleasure.
Go on the Facebook. You can see all the links, books, everything we talked about. Once again, this is Jesus Henao. This is a commercial hour, and we will see you in 2 weeks. Have a great day.